She said, "Therapy won't change anything. I love you, but this is non-negotiable for me. You either accept it or it happens without your approval." Welcome back to They Did What? Your source for the internet's craziest, most entertaining stories, where I go over them, analyze them, and most certainly make fun of them. Today, I'm going to be doing part 2 to the story I did yesterday, which was titled, "Both my in-laws and mother want me to accept my wife's infidelity. My dad is taking me to see a lawyer." And guys, that story, which I only did last night, already got an update, so I figured you guys want to hear about it. But as a recap, real quick, that's about the guy. He is 30 years old, I believe, been married for 3 years, and really thought, like so many guys before him, that he had a great marriage. And then lo and behold, his wife revealed that not only was she having an affair, not just a hookup, a full-blown affair, but also she wants to have an open marriage. Real nice, huh? And this is the gal that he was convinced loved him and blah, blah, blah. And of course, very upset about this whole thing. And you recall the next day his in-laws showed up, and thinking he'd had their support, they were telling him that he should give her what she wants, the open marriage, that they themselves do an open marriage, and his own mother-in-law started berating him about being unable to satisfy her daughter, and him that pretty much he should do this for the good of the marriage, blah, blah, blah. And he's thinking, am I in freaking la-la land here? And then the next day, his mother-in-law and his mom show up, and his own mother, who carried him and gave birth to him, took the girl's side and said he should do the same thing. He's being inadequate to her and blah, blah, blah. I mean, he thought he was just it was crazy. Then he went to his dad, who incidentally, mom and dad are divorced. And his dad revealed that his mom is a big giant cheater. That's why they divorced. And his dad said, no. I'm taking you to a lawyer's office tomorrow, and we're going to have this thing dealt with. Thank the Lord for the father. So now we are on this update here as to what went on with the meeting with the lawyer, things with this guy's wife, family, etc., etc. Because if you thought the first part was crazy, you ain't seen nothing yet. It gets worse. So, continues on, says here, "Hello again, Reddit. Your support through all of this has been genuinely invaluable, and I want to keep you all updated. As I mentioned in my previous post, my father and I plan to meet with a lawyer to discuss the situation. We had the meeting today, and here's what went down." He says, "I won't lie, walking into that law office felt overwhelming, but having my father beside me was a comfort. We explained everything to the lawyer, from my wife's desire for an open marriage to the insensitivity of my in-laws and even my own mother's hurtful words." That's got to be pretty hard to say to someone, because you'd feel like a complete jackass. But at the end of the day, unless there's something I don't know about, it's not this guy's fault. But I will say this. My impression, based on my life experience and things, reading these stories, women don't request or demand these things unless they have zero respect for the guy. That in their view, he's a weak little bitch, and they can get away with it. And I'm guessing she probably married what she considered to be her nice guy, that she could rope in the beginning, win his heart, and then when she had him after 3 years, then pull this stunt, assuming that he would go along with it. And she could have him with the resources and the ring on her finger, but go have her phone chat entire room. But she was wrong. The lawyer, a composed and stern woman, listened attentively. She explained that while the legal landscape around open marriages was complex, there were certain things I needed to be clear about. Firstly, she emphasized that my consent was critical. Regardless of what anyone else says, you have the right to decide what you are comfortable with your relationship, she stated firmly. Well, there you go. He's not comfortable with multiple dudes plowing his wife multiple times a week. And I might add, he doesn't want to be with any other women. He didn't agree to this upon them getting married. It wasn't a part of the deal. Secondly, she made it clear that if we decided to divorce, my wife's infidelity could impact the outcome, depending on our state's laws. She also touched upon asset division, alimony, and how any future infidelity could potentially affect these things. Even if this guy was taken to the cleaners, not that I expect him to have a whole lot of assets by him being 30 years old. I mean, statistically, he's not going to have a whole lot. It would be worth it for her to get almost everything and him to pay alimony for a few years to get rid of her instead of staying with her. I don't think it'll come to that, but it's worth it. He's 30, for God's sakes. He can start over. Finally, she suggested we consider couples therapy before making any drastic decisions. Smack! That is the stupidest goddamn thing I ever heard of. Did she not hear his story? His wife cheated. He can't trust her anymore. She's demanding an open marriage. The in-laws are telling him to do this. He can't be with her or with the family. No. That is out of the question. Now, I think perhaps legally she has to say that. I don't know. But still, no fucking way. That was not a legal, but a personal suggestion. She explained that therapy could provide a safe and mediated space for my wife and me to express our feelings and thoughts and perhaps help us find a resolution. There's going to be no resolution. The wife is trying the tactic of my way or the highway with him. Her perception of him is so strong that he's weak, she's not backing down. You can't have a marriage like this. It doesn't work. However, I'm afraid it's far too late for couples therapy. You're darn right, sir. I spoke with my wife about an hour ago over the phone, and her response was, well, exactly what you'd expect. Now listen to this. His wife said to him, therapy won't change anything, she said coldly. I love you, but this is non-negotiable for me. You either accept it or it happens without your approval. Call me crazy, guys, but that doesn't sound like a gal that loves her guy. Sounds like a gal that could give a flying fuck about her guy. It is her way or the highway. That's because if she loved him, A, she want to be hooking up with other dudes. She want to be loyal and true to her husband. And B, if she saw how hurt he was by this, she would actually care. She doesn't care. He is nothing but a meal ticket, a guy to help pay the bills. That is it, nothing more. I was dumbstruck. The woman I loved and married was standing in front of me, giving me an ultimatum that shook me to my core. In that moment, I felt something in me snap. With a heavy heart, I asked her for a divorce. Good, brother. There's no other option here. To that, she just smirked and said, I'm not signing any divorce papers. We said for better or for worse, remember? What a bitch. She's got some bad karma coming towards her down the road. And I forgot to mention, this guy immediately needs to go take a test to make sure he hasn't caught an STD or something from her. What an asshole. I couldn't bear it any longer. I packed a bag and left our home, feeling more lost than I ever had in my life. I decided to move in temporarily with my dad. Thank God he has his father there. Thank the Lord. And I feel bad for this guy. I mean, I'm sure he's done things that obviously I'd want to smack him for being weak, because my interpretation is she wouldn't be acting this way unless she thought she'd get away with it, and they tend to do this with guys they perceive as weak. Clearly she was wrong because she didn't expect him to do this. But this guy doesn't deserve this, and all the other guys have been burned by these a-hole gals don't deserve it either. The next twist in the saga, there's more. My mother showed up at my father's doorstep, berating him for supporting me and encouraging my stubbornness. She insisted that I should be more understanding and flexible in my marriage. Yeah, well, your wife's certainly been flexible with her lovers. She had the nerve to show up on your dad's doorstep. I'm sure your dad has not wanted to see her ever again. Giving him a hard time and giving you a hard time? You're a fucking man, stand up for yourself. You don't want your wife being plowed away. This mother does not love him either. Those three witches ought to go hang out and start their own fucking coven. That was the final straw with me. My patience and goodwill already having hanging by a thread snapped completely. I confronted her and called her for her hypocrisy and infidelity. Good for you, dude. You're a 30-year-old man. You don't need to kiss her ass. I said to my mother, you're nothing but a cheating whore. I spat out the pent-up anger and betrayal pouring out. You have no right to preach about understanding and flexibility. Well, again, your mom knows about flexibility, obviously. Good for him. Now, I certainly don't encourage guys going around calling their moms those terms, but in this particular case, I don't blame him. She left in a huff, clearly shaken. I never spoke to her like that before, but in the moment, it felt justified. Dude, you got guys giving a round of applause to you all over the world. And you know what? I'm willing to bet you in that moment, even though she's probably furious, your mom probably actually got respect for you, because women like that don't respect guys unless they show their strength. And in fact, are assholes to them. So here I am, living with my dad, unsure of my next step. My wife is refusing to divorce, my mother is unsupportive, and my world has been turned upside down. Bro, you're going to be okay. It's going to be hard, but it'll be okay. But I'm not giving up. I'm going to fight for my dignity, for my rights, and for my peace of mind. I'll update you as things progress. In the meantime, any advice or words of encouragement will be much appreciated. Also, to the people saying my post is fake or some kind of creative writing project, thank you for your opinions, but I'm not that creative. If I was, I doubt my wife would be cheating on me. So, number one, no, it's not fake, and I've been doing this long enough that, as the saying goes, you can't make this SHIT up. Truth is stranger than fiction. My advice to him would be, like I said yesterday, is obviously there's no going back. It's over, and he knows that. Stay with your dad. Your dad can be there for you. Be there for each other. Your dad's been through it too. Think about it, I would take it one day at a time. Your mission is just to get through the day, on to the next day. And the next day when he wakes up and probably is feeling depressed and like the biggest loser in the world, doesn't want to get out of bed, you got to get out of bed and keep going. And do not back down. And probably his ex and the in-laws and his mom will probably keep trying the strong-arming tactics and techniques and berate him. And when that doesn't work, then his wife will then probably do a switcheroo and begin with the waterworks and the I'm sorries and everything. Don't fall for it. You're done. I wouldn't have any more communication with her than you have to. Obviously, all his shit is still at the house. He obviously has to go back and get his stuff. But beyond that, I won't have any more contact. Any contact will be through the attorneys, no ifs, ands, or buts. And no matter what shit she puts you through and tries to drag it out, saying, I'm not going to divorce you, don't back down. You can't. And the sad thing is, I'm willing to bet you that the more balls he shows, and the guy's showing balls here, and good for him, she'll actually start to feel attracted to him and respect him. That'll be the irony here. But no, do not take her back. Communicate with her as little as possible. I know you got to get your shit out of the house. Get out of the house as fast as possible. Divorce her and move on with your life. And take it one day at a time. There have been guys who have been through plenty of hardships and have lived to tell the tale. And you can too. You're 30 years old, man. You got your whole life ahead of you, okay? One day at a time. Join a gym. Get some exercise. Hang out with your bros. Go back to your hobbies. Focus on your career. And if you need, if you're feeling depressed and it's impacting your life, maybe some therapy, because that does help some people if it comes to that. But don't drink your blues away and alcohol and doing drugs and eating fatty food and garbage and all that. No. One day at a time, and you're going to be all right. Now some comments here. One guy says here, you should have told your monster-in-law that she apparently hadn't satisfied her spouse either, hence their arrangement. What a biatch with a capital B. She is a monster-in-law. The entire family sucks. I'm sorry you are sad and hurt, but draw a damn line. They are rude and unfeeling. Cut the cord, and papers are stuck together, and divorce. You deserve a partnership that makes you feel respected and loved. Again, I don't want to seem insensitive, but your wife and her parents will not change, will not. People show who they are. I think that person wrote that before his update here, but he knows that. Another guy says here, here's the bottom line. There was no reason that one partner would ever dictate something that I was uncomfortable with. All that crap both parents and your mom were spouting out is just more false logic. If someone wants an open relationship, it should be agreed on by both partners up front and not after cheating. Right, if while they were dating and getting to know each other, she brought that up, that'd been one thing. But the fact that 3 years into marriage and after she cheated, oh, by the way, I want an open marriage, and if not, you're a bad husband. Bullshit. That was just more justification after the fact. My personal take on open relationship is this. Why? Why do I need to keep you around, support you emotionally and economically when you seek out other partners? What do I get out of this arrangement? I can get sex without that person, so I would get jealousy and resentment. No, thank you. Well, I said yesterday, and I'll say it again, marriage is a business deal. He is getting nothing out of this. She has it made. Guy says, your dad is a great man. Lean on him for support. Your father-in-law is a cuck man. That's his choice. Your wife and mom and mother-in-law are trash. Time to cut them out. Hope you have no kids with her. Divorce is the future. I don't think he has kids, or he would have mentioned that. And thank the Lord for that. And let's not put it past her to suddenly get pregnant from somebody's seed and say it's his kid. If you agree to this lifestyle, you'll be raising other men's kids. Your wife wants to safe you and home, but wants to still play the party chick banging guys. Get STD tested and retested in 6 weeks. HIV has a window period. She tells you she used condoms. Believe her if she keeps her vows. Sorry about your mom. She's a cancer. Cut her out. Are you even your dad's son? DNA test, bro. There's a question. is even his dad's son. He may not even want to know, maybe just too much right now. And last one, it's not just the betrayal of the OP's wife and in-laws. The biggest betrayal came from the OP's mom. I agree with that. She put him down, her own son, just to justify her own cheating and his wife's. And she did the same thing to the OP's fathers too. This is awful, awful. OP should just stay close to his dad, who seems to be the only not normal person in the situation, and stay away from these toxic people, women, and in-laws. Amen. So again, like I said before, I wish this guy luck. And I'll be keeping an eye out for more updates. There is no way that this is over. There's going to be further updates with her and her refusing the divorce and his a-hole mom and in-laws. I mean, just because remember, guys, I told you this before, women have a perception of you. Whether it's accurate or not, it is darn near impossible to shake that. And his wife's perception of him and the in-laws and the mom is that he's a weak and he's a pushover. And they're trying this strong-arming tactics to get him to cave because they think he will. But they're wrong. Which goes to show you guys, even guys that are the nice guys, or they call them the blue pill guys, there is the strength deep down, and you all have it there. So if you're watching this and you're in a bad situation, bad relationship, there is the strength in you deep down. Deep down, brothers, and it can come to the surface, and you can be the man, the strong guy that you know that you are, and not take shit from anybody. Girlfriends, wives, fiancés, bosses, co-workers, people you do business with, friends, family. It's there. So let this guy motivate you. All right, guys, that is it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. And, guys, you come across a good story, definitely email it to me. The more, the better. strongsuccessfulmale@gmail.com. Just give me some time to do it. Get to it, and I definitely will. And be sure to like the video, share it with your friends, and subscribe. And I'll catch you next time.